What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back with another crime talk type video. And a lot of you guys in my last streams and so forth have been wanting me to look into the Madeline Soto case, and a very unfortunate murder of this beautiful little girl. I only know a little bit about it. Usually when it comes to kids, I try not to get into it unless it's like the Chris Watts case, or there's been a couple other cases I've looked at, that Chad Dorman and that other gentleman that annihilated his family. Those ones really hit home, and this one's kind of hitting home as well, just because I have a daughter around this age, and I would never want anything to happen to her, let alone what this little girl had to go through. And a lot of you guys are speculating now. The mother knows more into this, which is sickening in itself. So you guys are wanting me to watch this and get my reaction and my partake on this, which I'm happy to oblige to you guys. So before we go any further, if you guys could subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right, hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that Zowoki has posted that video, and you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you guys so very much. We are so close to 50,000 subscribers. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this channel, and I can't do it without you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, let's get into this case.
February 25th should have been a great day for Madeline Soto.
Wasn't it her birthday or something like that? Like, she was murdered the day after?
Her 13th birthday, celebrating a new phase in her life, becoming a teenager. There was a party, but her mother, Jen Soto, could not make it. But her mother's live-in boyfriend was there, Stephen Stearns, a man who had been in Madeline's life for at least a couple of years. In fact, Jen referred to him as Madeline's stepfather, even though they were not married. The next day, Jen and Stephen say Stephen gave Madeline a ride to school. They also say Madeline was embarrassed and did not want to get dropped off in front of the school, so she was dropped off at a church parking lot less than half a mile away.
Red flag. I would not do that with my daughter. My daughter is not blood related, but she is my daughter. I'm going to adopt her once we get married. She is my daughter. I've had her since she was 2. I would never drop her off that far away. I don't care if she's 18, she's 22. I'm not letting her walk that distance. I understand the embarrassment. Parents are going to embarrass their children. But I'm going to make sure that embarrassment is not over protection. You're dropping her a quarter mile away? No, almost a half a mile away. No.
That's the last time they say anyone had contact with her. Investigators say the evidence paints a much different picture. They claim they have evidence of Stearns dumping Madeline's laptop and backpack in a dumpster and have images of Madeline dead inside Stearns' car. Madeline never made it to school and was found 4 days later in some brush 17 miles from their home in Kissimmee, Florida. Stearns was arrested after images of Madeline being sexually assaulted were allegedly found.
Death penalty.
On his phone,
no doubt about it.
Some dating back to when Madeline was just 11. But at this point, there have been no charges related to her death. Tonight, we take a closer look at the story.
Say what? They actually haven't charged the man?
Told by Madeline's mother. Then take a look at the recovery scene. What will this autopsy reveal? All this as we investigate the tragic life and death of Madeline Soto.
Are you kidding me?
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's just not fair. It's not fair what happened to this little girl. It's beyond outrageous. Tough life. She's being tortured. She was being tortured. The allegations are that this was going on for years, this sexual abuse in this home, and it's not stopping. You know, why didn't it stop? Why didn't someone step in? Why didn't anyone know? A lot of questions tonight, but the bottom line to all of this, She only lived to her 13th birthday, and it's not fair what happened to her. Now, let's talk about Mr. Accidental Factory Reset, Stearns over here.
Factory reset.
I mean, this is the guy. He's in custody now because of what was on his phone. The phone that he accidentally did a factory reset on.
Factory reset? You have to hit like 4 to 5 things in order to factory reset your phone. How do you trip and oops? Really?
On the day
that she went missing,
that this little girl disappeared.
Doesn't that sound familiar when Nicole Kessinger, the morning of the murders, her phone pings in Frederick, Colorado, she can't be found, has no alibi?
Come on. Does he really think everyone is that stupid? Like, you can't put 2 and 2 together? And by the way, how do you accidentally reset your phone? How do you do that?
You don't.
Explain it to me, please. I'd like to understand how that can be done accidentally. But I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't. Most of the time, they do not bear out. You can put pieces together. In all the cases and the trials we cover on Court TV, all these little circumstances, all these facts, you start putting them together, and it leads in one direction. And that's what's happening here.
Damn.
And the question is, what happened? What happened to this little girl? When was she murdered? Where was she murdered? How was she murdered?
They have evidence.
Those questions have not been answered yet publicly.
Why?
There's an autopsy. Hopefully that autopsy will reveal a lot of that information. And when I say information, I mean evidence. Because
but if you're saying you have evidence of her being sexually abused in the car, isn't that something for charges? But no charges have been made?
every piece of information is evidence in this case. Because this just can't happen without someone being held accountable for what happened to Madeline. The other thing that's confusing me tonight is Mom, Madeline's mother. What's her story? What exactly is her story? What is she saying?
She couldn't be there
what
for her
has she
daughter's
said?
birthday.
What does it mean? I mean, I don't have a clear picture yet. And obviously she's not talking anymore.
Oh, of course she's not.
Investigators are gathering up their evidence and information, so we don't know everything. But we're going to try to learn a lot more tonight. So let's start with what we know right now about Mom's story. And it begins, let's take a look at the arrest affidavit. This is the arrest of Mr. Accidental Factory Reset. On February 26, 2024, approximately 2,000 hours, Madeline Soto, 13-year-old, was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephen Stearns, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. The mother then went to pick up Madeline from school at dismissal and learned that Madeline never showed up for school.
So another thing too, which kind of flabbergasts me, is if a child doesn't go to school, like our school, we're called. The parents are called. Where's the kid? Where's your child? Where's your little one? Like, did they not do that with the mother? Madeline wasn't there all day. Did they not call her and say, "Hey, we like to know where Madeline is. Is she have an appointment or sick today?" I'm pretty sure a lot of schools do that.
So that's when she finds out. She goes to pick her up at the end of the day. That's when she finds out her daughter is missing.
That's very peculiar.
Stepdad dropped her off at school. Now,
half a mile away.
We know she's spoken publicly because this began as a missing persons case. And when she spoke with WFTV 9 down in Orlando on March 5th, or actually a report from WFTV
4 days ago.
On March 5th. This is interesting. Newly obtained documents show that the girl's mother told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 a.m. on Monday. And Stearns then took her to school.
So then ask Stearns.
Okay. More statements from Mom there. Now, let's take a listen to a February 27th interview, again by WFTV 9 down in Orlando with Jen Soto. Again, this is her telling her story and the story about what happened here. Let's listen.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. She was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
She's doing this. She's like, she's fidgeting. You do that when you're nervous.
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah, in my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school.
I'd be bawling my eyes out.
You know, I don't know what to think. She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it. She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up, and she wasn't at school.
All right, when you put all this stuff together, I'm hearing some clear contradictions, some holes in the story, and some ambiguities. I want to take some time tonight to try to clear things up as best we can at this point of this investigation. So we got to go on the ground down to Orlando to some folks who are working this story. Joining me in Orlando, Florida, WFTV investigative reporter Shannon Butler. Shannon, great to see you tonight.
Good to see you, Vinny.
Also with us, editor of the Osceola News-Gazette, Ken Jackson, also working this story. Thank you so much, Ken, for joining us. All right, let me start here. Shannon, from your perspective, how clear is it about this birthday party that takes place on Sunday, going to school on Monday, who's in the house, who's not in the house, who's going where? Is there any clarity to what's going on there before this alleged drive to school?
Well, that's the time frame that we're still trying to piece together as we try to look at this timeline of events. We know that the birthday party happened. We know at some point she was in that home. We don't know who was in the home with her at the time because the stories have not been clear. We've talked to Stephen Stearns, we've talked to Jen Soto, and the stories weren't quite clear about what happened then. All we know is they claim that he took her to school, and that's when she...
Did they hook him up to a lie detector? I know it can't be used in court as substantial evidence, but can it point us in the right direction to see if he's deceiving, to see if his answers match up correctly?
Had vanished.
Now, Ken, I want to put up the first contradiction that I'm seeing in some of these statements that have been made public. The affidavit states that Jen told deputies her partner, Stephen Stearns, dropped Madeline off at Hunters Creek Middle School on the morning of February 26th.
That's a liar.
When interviewed by WFTV on February 27th, Jen says Stephen Stearns dropped Madeline off near the school. What about that drive? Was that drive made? Where's he driving that morning? And is there any evidence of him being anywhere near the school that day?
Well, first of all, Vinny, thanks for having me on. If you look closely at that map, first of all, something I want to say about that neighborhood is if you notice right there on Town Loop Boulevard, the church and the school are separated by State Road 417, which is a elevated toll road. So to say that they're really near the school, you can't see the school from the church. So there's that. And then we do have the inconsistency of, in the affidavit, the mention is that Stephen dropped her off. And then we hear from the mom that we dropped her off. So that's something that we're trying to confirm right now. I did speak informally with a member of Kissimmee Police Department on, let's see, today's third, on Tuesday night. They're now the lead agency in the investigation. I was there for an unrelated event. And I asked about any investigation that's currently going on in the mother. To tell you how tight this investigation is right now, I was told, and I'm paraphrasing here, was that we have a focused investigation going on in order to present an airtight case to the state attorney's office. That's all the Kissimmee Police Department is saying right now.
And you need that airtight case. I mean, Shannon knows I spent a lot of time down there in Central Florida. Was it more than a decade ago? And we thought that case was airtight. All right, Shannon, here's another contradiction I'm seeing. In her interview with WFTV, Jen says, and this is what Ken just said, we dropped Madeline off for school. In the same interview, Jen says her partner, Stephen Stearns, dropped Madeline off for school.
Oh, my gosh.
What do you make of that contradiction, the we versus like, oh, no, he did it?
She's throwing him under the bus already.
Well, I think at first when she told that story before we know what we know now, we just thought it was one of those conversations where you have, you know, you and your husband, you're like, oh, we dropped her off at school at 8 o'clock. But then when that affidavit came out and an initial report that says something completely different about when she last saw her daughter, we started to go back to that interview and listen to it again. She told us twice in that interview that we dropped her off at school.
I really wish she could tell us what happened.
And then she says, well, I didn't drop her off. My partner dropped her off. That's another thing. She calls him a partner. We've heard it's the stepdad. We've heard it's the boyfriend. Also, that's unclear about that relationship too. So we know she wasn't dropped off near her school or at school because the video evidence that the deputies have and police now have, that doesn't add up. It was nowhere near the school.
So arrest
Next
him.
contradiction. Told WFTV that Madeline was spotted on camera in the church parking lot walking towards the school around 9 a.m. on February 26. And this is what Shannon's saying. Police say video evidence leads them to believe Madeline was already deceased 8:19 a.m. on February 26 when video footage shows Stephen Stearns' car at their apartment complex and Madeline's body is visible. Ken, this was the part of that interview that confused me the most because she's referencing something about being on camera at 9 a.m. That's impossible. Do we even know if there is
what about the church?
Surveillance video at that church?
Well, we know that there is surveillance camera at the church, but we don't have. We don't at 9 o'clock. We don't have her on that now. Something else that we're trying to confirm right now is that we're trying to confirm. Part of the affidavit was that they have it on camera that Stefan dumped some of Madeline's items, the backpack and the laptop.
Isn't that enough evidence right there to start like pinpointing him as the main squeeze of the murder? He's getting rid of evidence.
In a dumpster. What we're trying to confirm now is if they were found in the apartment complex where Stearns' address is listed on one of the charging affidavits. Now, that's on the west, about the northwest side of Kissimmee. Unfortunately, it's a gated community, so it's not like we can all just head on in there and look for ourselves. But they have not been able to confirm, and at least we have not been able to confirm that that's the dumpster, but that would have been a full, because I know my daughter's in 9th grade, so she just got out of middle school. So I know middle school goes in around 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock. The timing from the affidavit says that they saw the car about 7:45. It dumped the items in the dumpster, and then at 8:19 they was found on camera again with what they think is Madeline inside the car. they believe that, at least the Orange County investigators believe that she was already dead. So there's a lot of things in here that aren't adding up that we're hoping will come clear once the investigation is revealed by Kissimmee Police.
Another contradiction, Shannon. Ready? Here we go. According to a WFTV report, Jen Soto told deputies she last saw her daughter 8 a.m. on Monday, February 26, getting dressed before school. But she also told you guys in an interview she last spoke to her daughter on Sunday, February 25th.
They're both involved. The mom and the stepdad.
To me, this is the biggest mystery that
How much you want to bet they both are gotten sick of her, or like they just didn't want to deal with her anymore, and hatched a scheme that, oh, we could get this taken care of and get rid of her, and then start a life together.
I have.
Continue their life together.
Where's mom in the morning? Who's in the house? When could this have happened? Where was the party? What time was the party? Where was mom?
At the party?
Did mom speak to her in person? Did she speak to her on the phone? Any clarity on any of this, Shannon?
Well, we know that her mom said that she was not at the party, and I think folks at that party confirmed that she was not there. She somehow was back in that apartment, and not for the mom to say that she had that long conversation with her about how excited she was about the party, how she liked her gifts. We have video of that birthday party. We know that the little girl did celebrate her birthday, but once she got home, that's the problem that we're having. So
from the time that she got home from the party to the morning of when she left between 8:30 and 9 is the window of problem. So they're thinking that in that time frame, she was murdered, says that she went to school, but they hatched a scheme because they were throwing stuff away right before 8:30. So between that night and that 8:30 time frame is when she could have been murdered. And both of them know. And she's already throwing her partner under the bus because he's not the biological father, and she could just get rid of him like yesterday's trash.
Say goodnight to your daughter, as you told us originally, and then someone told you that he took her to school, because then in the affidavit or the incident report, the first responding deputies, when they talked to her, she said she saw her get dressed for school. Then she saw Stephen Stearns drive her then to school around 8:30. But remember, that video evidence at 8:19, according to the sheriff's office, shows that she was likely already deceased. So if she saw her get ready at 8 and then said he took her at 8:30, it's not possible if you look at the evidence that those deputies pulled from the apartment complex. They believe at 7:35, when her backpack was dumped in that dumpster, she was likely dead then. In fact, one of the reports, it says that...
See, I'm not a professional. I'm not educating criminal justice. But yet, I, myself, can see the bull crap that is coming out of these two parents' mouths to show that they are both involved. How much you want to bet? Give it time. That they'll both be put into prison. At least the man. The woman, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Stephen Stearns said that he saw her in that parking lot actually open her book bag and was digging for something. And he said, I thought it was her headphones because she was always looking for her headphones. That was the same backpack that detectives say he threw in the dumpster at 7:35 in the morning.
Crap.
There is video at that church parking lot, but they've never said that's actually her. They had some conversation with them early on, and they've held on to that story that she was in that church parking lot. But no one has ever said that was actually her. It was grainy video, but detectives do not believe that was her, seeing as how at 8:19 they believed she was dead.
This is
crap.
I know investigators know so much more than we do, right? They're holding back, they're putting together, as you described, that airtight case that is necessary to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. But this is just, it's not adding up. Like, it's not adding up. What she is saying and what he is saying and what he is doing and the way her story has vacillated a little, something strikes me that is just wrong here. Ken, any indication when they say investigating, because no one's been charged in the murder, right? No one's been implicated in what happened to this girl in terms of being either, you know, abducted or killed or wherever that happened. Is mom part of the subject of that investigation?
Well, like I said, KPD was pretty tight-lipped when I talked to him on Tuesday, but I have to believe that
she knew more than she's saying.
She is. I mean, she's the only person who is around for this who isn't currently incarcerated. So currently, we still do not have murder charges in the case. We only have the sexual battery and the possession of child pornography charges against Stephen.
You have that, but yet you don't have any evidence that says that he did it?
But like I said, I mined for information on that the other day, and while I wasn't told that per se, I have to believe that she is part of this investigation. So because, like I said, you know, she's not in jail. Stephen is. You know, this is going to be a very interesting investigation when it comes out. I'm gonna tell you that.
All right, Shannon, as we sit here tonight, what's the question on the top of your mind that you want to be able to uncover the answer to? Like, what is the one thing that is really sticking in your head tonight about
Madeline Soto.
about what happened to Madeline?
What her mother knew before her death in those 2 years where detectives say she was being abused by her boyfriend, what the mom knew then and what the mom knew in those final hours. There's a lot of question there. There's a lot of different stories. I think investigators are still trying to piece together. We're still trying to piece that together. I think until we know that, because remember, there's two separate investigations going on here, what happened before and what happened leading up to it and after. I think that they will look at the mom on both of those things. We still don't know what happened in those final hours or the hours just after Madeline was reported missing, and we don't know what the mom knew, if anything, about the 2 years, maybe even more, that her daughter was allegedly being abused.
And how about you, Ken?
I think she knew.
Well, what I want to know is, so the investigation concludes that the sexual abuse that was on Stephen's phone occurred in 2022, when
so a year ago.
Now the affidavit redacts the name of the victim, but it lists the date of birth and it matches Madeline's. Okay, so if it happened in 2022, number one, she was younger than 12 years old, and can we say for sure that it occurred consistently ever since 2022, so for the last 2 years? And if so, what I want to know is the mom coming from a position of being fearful as well? Like we said, like Shannon said, you know, what did she know and when did she know it? You know, was she covering for Stephen? I mean, these are things that, as a parent of a 15-year-old myself,
I have a 13-year-old myself,
I really want us to get to the bottom of.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, both of you are doing incredible work down there. Shannon Butler with WFTV. You've been gracious enough to let us share that interview that you guys did. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Shannon. Ken Jackson, Osceola News-Gazette. Keep digging, and I hope you'll both come back on, because we're going to continue to cover this story.
I'm telling you right now, Sterling, whatever his name is the main guy. The main guy that did it. The mother, she at least knew about it, didn't want to do anything with it, or play dumb because she didn't want to believe it. Because once that man factory reset his phone, she should have been gone. He was trying to hide stuff. You can't accidentally factory reset. I guarantee if I went on my phone right now, first I got to put my password in. Then I got to search the settings, which I just clicked another one. That's 2. I go to software, which is another one. system update or factory reset. It took me four times to get here. How is that possible? He accidentally factory reset it. He states that he dropped her off a quarter mile or a half a mile away, where like one guy said you couldn't even see the two against each other. They literally said that they see her body in the car. Well, is she moving? Is she like show signs of life? He's throwing stuff away, but yet you can't sit there and charge him for murder? At least second degree. But yet, thank God they got him on the child P word, and they got him on the abuse. This was, I guarantee, premeditated. Guaranteed. I can't wait to see what more unravels with this case, because this girl deserves justice. This little girl, 13 years old, the day after her birthday, is murdered. Makes me sick. Comment down below what you guys think about this case. Hopefully, I mean, unfortunately, she is gone, but she's not hurting. Because, I mean, but again, two years. This has been happening for 2 years. And you couldn't tell me that there's no signs? I guarantee this woman, this little girl, had so many problems. Had problems with her friends. Had problems fitting in. Had problems talking. Because she was so distraught from all the abuse that she was getting. I call bull crap. Something's going on, and it's with both parents. Both of them need to have a spotlight. Again, you can't use the what's it called? Not the pen. The lie detector. You can't use it in court. It's not substantial evidence, but you can see if they're deceiving, if they're lying. They did it with Chris Watts. They did it with other people. Do it with them. Oh, it's not in our budget. Forget the stupid budget. That's all you hear is these stupid budgets. But yet they're making thousands of dollars. I mean, how expensive is it to do a lie detector test? You put some things on their thing, and the man has to sit there and check marks. I mean, there's probably more to it, but I'm just saying, it can't be that expensive to do. I mean, the equipment's probably expensive, but still, everything is so high, and then they're just like, oh, we don't have it in the budget. Forget your stupid budget. A man could be released into the public and do this again. The man deserves the death penalty if he is convicted of complete first-degree murder. Don't house him in the prison and give him 3 square meals a day and free insurance. Let him go to school. No, death penalty. Show these people that they cannot get away with this. I'm pro death penalty. If you cause a crime, for 1, murder, 2, towards a child, it should be instant death penalty. The prison systems are for people that like steal or make drugs but when it comes to murder, abuse, sexual things towards a child, death. It should be a firing squad, to say the least. Make an example out of these people so that maybe people are going to get scared, as in these predators, and not hopefully do it. But no, we're going to put them in prison and give them 3 square meals a day, give them a TV, give them some money so they can buy some Doritos and ramen noodles and all that crap. It makes me sick. If you guys want me to cover more of this case, please let me know down in the comments. Hit the like button for the justice of this little girl, because she needs the 100% justice, and she's not getting it right now. I feel so bad for that little girl. I really want to punch that man. I really want to punch him. And so help me, if I find out that like I can't do anything, but so help me if he touched her. It makes you can't trust anybody, to say the least. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Please be safe. Take care of your loved ones, your family, your friends, because you are there to protect each other, not be the monster. We'll see you guys in the next video. Please take care and keep nerding on. Peace.